أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. لقد جاءت رسول ربنا بالحق. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء المرسلين خاتم النبيين سيدنا ونبينا ومولانا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وبآله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين. وصل على صاحب الدعوة النبوية والصولة الحيدرية والعصمة الفاطمية والحلم الحسنية والشجاعة الحسينية والصبر السجادية وآثار الباقرية وعلوم ومؤثر الصادقية وعلوم الكاظمية وحجج رضوية وجود التقوية والنقاوة النقوية والهيبة العسكرية والغيبة الإلهية والقائمة بالحق. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتاب الكريم ومحكم كتاب المجيد وقوله الحق. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. بقية الله خير لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. The period of Hira, known as the period of utter confusion, is a name given to the period of the early days of the imamate of the 12th Holy Imam. This is because the period of Hira, or the period of the initial years of Ghaibat al-Sughra, the minor occultation, were a period of intense and utter confusion for the believers of the time and intense bewilderment. Why? Because it was the first time in the history of the Ahlul Bayt that there was no physical imam to turn towards. Now, of course, previously there may have been physical imams. They may have been in another country, under house arrest, or even in imprisonment. However, there was still a physical imam to turn towards. However, the Ghaibat al-Sughra and of course Ghaibat al-Kubra is a period where the imam is not physically accessible to all the believers. So as you can imagine, within the believers, within the Shi'as of the time, this was a period of intense confusion and bewilderment. Not only that, but also there was a sense of apprehension within the Abbasid Caliphate. Why? Because they knew that there is a Mahdi that has been prophesied to come, and he is the one that will end the oppressive regimes. So the believers were in bewilderment. The Abbasid Caliphate was also in a state of apprehension as to where is the Mahdi? Is there such a Mahdi alive? Is he dead? Is he alive? What is happening with all of this? In the midst of all this, Ja'far, the son of the Imam of the 10th Imam, the brother of Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam, also proclaimed himself as being the Imam. So the Shi'as had a third level of bewilderment, third level of confusion. Not only Ja'far did he declare himself as Imam, he also took his own mother. Ja'far took his own mother to court for 7 years. You see, Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam, when he left this world, he left a will. In this will, he bequeathed all of his estate, his wealth, his properties, his money to his mother, and didn't mention the Imam of our time, Imam al-Hujjah. So this Ja'far, the brother of Imam Hassan Askari, took his own mother to court for 7 years in a legal battle. Now, if me and you were the ordinary Shi'as living at the time of the Ghaibat al-Sughra, be it in Baghdad, Qum, Makkah or Medina, then what would have been the state of our confusion at the time? If we weren't one of the 40 selected or the 40 chosen ones in which Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam had introduced Imam Sahib al-Amr, then what would have been our state and our mind at the time? Who do we turn to when we have to give khums? Who do we turn to for religious guidance? Who do we turn to for religious questions? And you see that there were many levels in which the Shias of the time were bewildered and intensely confused. Some of the layers of confusion were: is there an Imam that is alive? Is he in occultation? If he is on occultation, then how, when will he reappear? Will he reappear in a few months, in a few years, in a few lifetimes, or in a period that is much longer than that? If there is a real Imam, then how can we now communicate to him? In the midst of all this, Ja'far, who is now the brother of the Imam Hassan Askari, do we follow him because he also has a right to Imamat if he has declared himself as an Imam? And in all of this midst, in this confusion, there were some sects within Shia, within Islam, that were gaining prominence. For example, the sects of Ghulat and Nusayri. These individuals would say that the Imam of the Ahlul Bayt aren't humans, rather they are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala walking on earth. So you had all of these confusions, one upon the other, at the initial time when the Imam had gone for his minor occultation. You find that the period of Ghaibat-e-Sughra was therefore one of the period of bewilderment within the Shias of the time. At this point, the Imam had left 4 Safirs, Wukalas, deputies, representatives. The first of which is Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri. Second, his son Muhammad bin Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri. The third one was Husayn bin Ru al-Nawbakhti, and the fourth is Ali bin Muhammad al-Samri. Now these 4 individuals were the 4 representatives of Ghaibat-e-Sughra. And clearly many lessons can be derived from their lives, and many benefits and pearls of wisdoms can be taken from their lessons and from their biography. You see, generally when we talk about our beloved 12th Imam, we generally talk about the atmosphere or the environments that took place around his birth, and suddenly we take a huge leap to the current day and age and discuss how the Imam is now relates in our life. Of course, that is good, but what happens between the initial period of his Imamate? Therefore, today's discussion is discussing the first of the Safir of the Imam, titled The Lessons That We Can Derive from the Life of Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri, the first representative of this Imam. And in this session, we will inshallah discuss why it was this individual that was chosen to be the Safir of the Imam. What challenges did he face? How did he overcome those challenges? And inshallah, in the following 3 weeks, we will try and discuss the remaining 3 Wukalas, the deputies, one by one, and try to take lessons from their life. But Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. So by way of introduction, Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri was 11 years old when he came in the presence of our 9th Holy Imam and came into his servitude. And later he gained the confidence of our 9th Holy Imam, and he retained this position of confidence and servitude with our 10th Imam and our 11th Imam. One day, the Holy Imam Askari alayhi salam gathered 40 of his most trusted individuals and companions. And in that meeting, in that gathering, the Imam introduced Imam Hujjat Ajalallahu Ta'ala Faraja in the meeting. Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. And at that point, he introduced Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri as his first representative. He said to his gathering that this individual al-Amri, as in Uthman, is going to be the representative after me for the Hujjat. You will not be able to see the Hujjat at the time, but he will be the link, the communicator between the two. And so, after the death of Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam, there started the period of intense bewilderment and the period of the minor occultation known as Ghaibat-e-Sughra. Now, a question arises: what is the reason that the Imam Hassan Askari and the 12th Imam had chosen this individual to be his Safir, his Wakil? Of course, this is a coveted position. It's a huge status. What is the reason that Uthman bin Saeed deserved this position? Now, clearly, Uthman bin Saeed was a knowledgeable individual, and rightly so. But was he the most knowledgeable individual? Was Uthman bin Saeed the most knowledgeable individual? Did Imam say that I have chosen Uthman because he is the most knowledgeable out of you? Of course, he was knowledgeable, but not necessarily the most knowledgeable. What if an individual is knowledgeable but he has no administrative skills? What if an individual is knowledgeable but he has no organization skills? What if a person is knowledgeable, is a scholar, but he has no people skills? What if an individual is knowledgeable but he has bias and favoritism towards the people? What if an individual is knowledgeable but he is not a reliable or a trustworthy individual? Therefore, when you see the Imam describing Uthman, he says, Al-Amri wa ibnuh thiqatan. Amri and his son are reliable individuals. Here, the Imam highlights the reliability of Uthman. Another trait that comes forward is Amin. One day, is Ahmad bin Ishaq al-Qummi comes in the presence of the 10th Imam and he says, "Oh my Mawla, sometimes I have the fortune of seeing you and doing your ziyarat face to face. However, unfortunately, sometimes I am deprived of your ziyarat. In those occasions, in such circumstances, who should I turn to?" So the 10th Holy Imam says, turn towards Uthman bin Sa'id al-Amri. He is a reliable and a trustworthy individual. Whatever he says, it is as if we have said it. Whatever he gives you, it is coming from us. So here, and then Ahmad bin Ishaq al-Qummi goes to the 11th Imam with the same question, and the 11th Imam also responds to him with the same answer. So here, thiqah, reliability, and amin. Why are these two traits important? Because the representative of that time knew exactly where the Imam was. He knew where the Imam was, but yet he was trustworthy with his amanat. At that point, the people had to communicate to the Imam through Uthman bin Sa'id al-Amri. So an individual had to be reliable that he is conveying the right messages and the right communications. So these are the two most important characteristics that Uthman had. That's something we need to try and cultivate within our lives. Another skill, another competency that Uthman had is people skills. You know, when an individual is a wakil of the Imam, he needs to sit with the poor Shias, with the rich Shias. He needs to sit down and communicate with the Shias that are the politicians of the time, and the Shias that are the businessmen of the time. The Shias that are laborers, and the Shias that are doing another bits and bobs or another kind of jobs. Uthman had to have people skills. Not only that, he had to have organization and admin skills. Why? Because there was an underground hierarchy of individuals. Uthman was the wakil, he was a representative, but he himself had representatives, and those representatives had other representatives. So you see, there's a whole chain of hierarchy, and you need immense admin and immense organization skills at that time. So here we see that Uthman was reliable, he was Amin, and he had good people, admin, and organization skills. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now, having discussed Uthman's introduction and some of the traits that he had which made him suitable for the position that he had, let us now discuss some of the challenges that he faced. Now, one of the first challenge that Uthman and also the wider Shias of the time, the wider believers of the time faced was coming from Ja'far, the brother of Imam Hassan Askari alayhi salam. Was coming from Ja'far, the uncle of Imam al-Hujjat. Here, Ja'far had declared that he himself is the Imam, and he told the people that follow me, I am your Imam. You see, this Ja'far, like I said, took his own mother to court for 7 years until the ruling was passed that the estate of the mother is to be divided into two. Ja'far will get one part and his mother will get the other part. This was Ja'far who gave Uthman a lot of troubles, a lot of issues. On another level, this was the same Ja'far that wanted to lead the namaz janazah of 11th Imam. Why? To gain credibility in front of the people. And when Ja'far wasn't able to do so. He was very jealous of Uthman because Uthman was the one who prepared all the preparations of the janazah. That was the second level. On the third level, Ja'far would tell the Abbasid Caliphate of the time that go to that house of the Ahlul Bayt. I am telling you, there is a boy. Go find him, search him, you will find him there. In the masses, towards the masses of the people, he would say, there is no Mahdi, there is no Hujjat, it's all a myth. Don't worry, don't follow Uthman. But on the privately, he would go to the Abbasid caliphs of the time and he would say, there is a Mahdi alive, go and do a house search. So this Ja'far would give a lot of troubles to Uthman and to the wider Shias of the time. Now, how do you solve this problem of Ja'far? What did Uthman do? So a lot of people at that time were bewildered, were confused, and they would go to Uthman, oh Uthman, what is happening here? Do we follow Ja'far or do we follow you? If you are the true representative, then go get us some proof. So Uthman asks the Imam, and here the Imam provides what is known as tawqi'at. Tawqi'at are letters written by the hand of the Imam, which has the same seal, and the handwriting is the exact same throughout the entire period of Ghaibat al-Sughra, throughout the whole representatives. And these letters are given to the representatives or to the ordinary individuals. So, Allama Majlisi in Biharul Anwar has compiled a list of tawqi'at, which you can see are from the handwriting of the Imam himself. Anyway, so the Imam sends him a tawqi', he sends him a letter, and it's a very strongly worded letter against Ja'far. And he says, this defrauder has falsified Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he has claimed imamat for himself. We do not know of any such claim. Now, it is said that Ja'far would sit in illicit gatherings which involve alcohol, gatherings which involve slave girls. So the Imam says that he is a defrauder. He does not know the prohibitions or the what is allowed in the religion. He does not know the clear verses of the Holy Quran. He does not know the ambiguous verses of the Holy Quran, the muhkam and the mutashabiham. He does not know the rules of how to pray. He has not even prayed for 40 days. If Ja'far is claiming that he is an Imam, then tell him to bring a miracle, a mu'jiza from himself, so that people are able to believe him. So you see, at this time, the Imam would be in constant communication with Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri and would try and ease the confusion from the people. This was the first confusion and the first challenge that Uthman had to face in terms of consolidating this position of deputyship. The second confusion, the second challenge that Uthman had was that he needed to make the people trust him. Now you see, only 40 people knew, only 40 people were told from 11th Imam that Uthman is the representative. The wider Shi'as did not know that. So there were rumors, they were saying, is Uthman the real representative? Is he the real deputy? So now Uthman had to make himself established within the believers. Now he couldn't go out loud saying that I am the representative in the time which of political disturbance of the time of Abbasid Caliphate. So here there was a lot of confusion, and the people of Baghdad, Qum, Medina, Makkah weren't sure if Uthman was the real representative, weren't sure what's happened with the Imam. Let me narrate to you an incident on how Uthman would deal with those individuals. For example, there was a man by the name of Hassan bin Nadr. Hassan bin Nadr was once sitting down with Abu Saddam. And the two were sitting down, and Hassan asks Abu Saddam, and he says, what do you think of Uthman? So Abu Saddam says, what do you mean? He says, I'm not sure if Uthman is the real representative of the Imam. So Abu Saddam says, look, a lot of people are saying that all the top Shi'as of the time, the top believers of the time, they're all saying that Uthman is the real representative. So Hassan bin Nadr says, I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm going to go towards Hajj. So Abu Saddam says, don't postpone your Hajj this time, don't go this year. He says, no, I've seen a dream and I know something very bad is going to happen in my life. I'm going to Hajj this year. He leaves the gathering. A few days pass and he comes across a man by the name of Ahmad bin Hamad, and he says, what are you doing? Hassan bin Nadr says, look, I have some money I want to send towards the Imam. I'm going to go to Hajj this year. So this Ahmad bin Hamad says, look, even I have some money, but why don't you postpone this year and don't go to Hajj? So now Hassan bin Nadr is saying to himself, there are a lot of people saying, don't go to Hajj, don't go to Hajj. What is happening exactly? So once when he was seated in Baghdad, a person comes into his home and he says, "Are you Hassan bin Nadhr?" He says, "Yes, my name is Hassan." He says, "Here, take some clothes, take some food, and take some money and go towards Al-Askar Samarra." So now Hassan is confused. He's saying, first people are telling me not to go to Hajj, and now all of a sudden I'm being instructed to go to Al-Askar. Anyway, out of curiosity, he goes towards Al-Askar, and when he reaches Samarra, he is greeted by a person saying, "Are you Hassan?" He said, "Yes, come towards me." They go towards a house. They are greeted by a black slave, and he is now seated behind a curtain. A voice comes and he says that do not have any confusion that Shaitan is creating within your heart of my deputyship. Go and be satisfied that the Imam has chosen me as the leader, as the representative in all of the Shi'as. Now, what is the need for Uthman to have called Hassan bin Nadr all the way from his hometown to Samarra? He was just an individual. You see, a lot of people at that time were confused, and Hassan was the leader amongst his town. And so the Imam had instructed Uthman to call Hassan bin Nadr and to get rid of his confusion so that people are aware that yes, he is in fact the representative, the deputy of the Imam. This was the second challenge that he faced. The third challenge that he faced were a few people would gain prominence, and that is Ghulat and Nusayri. These are individuals that not only gave Uthman a lot of issues and a lot of problems, but they would also give the remaining three representatives a lot of issues. And inshallah, if we have time, we will discuss some other aspects of these sects in the following three majalis and how the other three representatives solved that. But anyway, now these Ghulat, these Nusayris would come out saying that the Imam are God on earth. They are Allah walking on earth. And one of those leaders was by the name of Ali bin Hasaka. Ali bin Hasaka was also alive at the time of the 11th Imam. And Ali bin Hasaka would say, if you gain the ma'rifat of the Imam, then you don't need to pray namaz, you don't need to pray Hajj, Salah, Hajj, Zakat, anything, Khums, etc. You just need to have the ma'rifat of the Imam. And he would say that I, Ali bin Hasaka, am the deputy of the Imam, so follow me. So now, Sahal bin Zayd went to the service of the 11th Imam and he says, look, Ali bin Hasaka is saying, don't pray Zakat, don't pray Salah. Is this true? So the Imam would say that we are the servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is incumbent, obligatory upon us to pay Zakat, Hajj and pray Salah. And he adds further saying that we follow monotheism, we follow the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this was the third challenge that Uthman would face. Now you can imagine, on the first level, there is no physical Imam at the time. On the second level, only 40 trusted individuals knew exactly what's happening and exactly who is the representative of the Imam. On the third level, Ja'far, the brother of the Imam, is saying, I am the Imam. On the fourth level, there are sects coming out saying that there are no Imams, they are actually God walking on earth. And if you are to imagine that you are an ordinary Shia, where would you have turned to? Would you have gone to Uthman? Would you have gone to Ja'far? Would you have followed Ali bin Hasaka? And at that time, there was a lot of sense of bewilderment and confusion, and an individual had to do their own due diligence, had to do their own homework, and get their Iman to a state where they were able to get conviction. Now, how is it that Uthman bin Saeed did his duty as the representative? How is it that he came across solving all of the challenges that were put upon his path? How? By selling butter, by selling oil. You see, Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri is famously known as Az-Zayyad, the one who sells butter, or As-Samman, the one who sells oil. You see, at that time, the political situation was such that you're not able to come out saying that I am the representative of the Imam is now in Ghaibah. You couldn't do all of that. Rather, what Uthman would do, in order to gain access to the market, in order to get access to the individuals and to the people, the common, ordinary people of the time, he would set a stall in the market and he would, for example, set a can of oil, and while selling the oil, he would answer a question. He would answer a fiqh question, he would take a letter and pass letters like that. And those individuals, like I said, there was a whole hierarchy. For example, there was Uthman, then there were his representatives, and there were his representatives. And all of those representatives would either be, for example, butter sellers, oil sellers, cotton sellers. For example, we had Muhammad bin Qattan. He would sell cotton. What he would do is he would sell cotton all day. At the end of the day, when he's collected all letters, he would take all the letters, put it inside a bag, cover it with cotton, and smuggle those letters towards Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri. And this is how they would discreetly and quietly continue with the message of the 12th Imam. And this is how Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri would propagate the message of the Imam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So this was the life of the first representative, very briefly, and there are many lessons that we can take. One of the first ones being that we also need to have reliability, thiqah, and trustworthiness, ameen, if we are to gain the confidence of the Imam. You see, we need to be such individuals that are able to lock the secrets in our hearts. Uthman had a lot of secrets in his heart, and a lot of people would put a lot of pressure on him, but yet he had to withhold all of the secrets within his heart. Not only that, he was a good speaker individually and towards the masses. And these are some of the skills and traits that we also need to gain so that we are also able to help the Imam of our time. So here today we've discussed the traits of Uthman, we've given an introduction of who he was, we've discussed some of the challenges, we've also discussed how he would solve those challenges. It is said, narration states that Uthman's representativeness was a very short one. It only lasted 18 months to a few years. And although it was a very short period of representativeness, it was one of the most important ones because it was at this time that Uthman consolidated this notion of wukala, deputyship, for the remaining 3 deputies. And towards the end of his life, he receives a tawqi'. He receives a letter from the 12th Imam saying that you will now pass away from this earth and the next representative will be your son, Muhammad bin Uthman bin Saeed al-Amri. Inshallah, we will discuss this individual in the following Thursday night and try and gain some lessons and some of his pearls from his biography. The Imam in this letter also adds that you must be proud that you have a son like Muhammad bin Uthman. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. अज़ादारान इमाम मज़लूम करबला, अज़ीज़ान गिरामी, हज़रत अली अकबर खुल्क़न व खल्क़न रसूलुल्लाह की शबीह थे. किसी को अगर रसूलुल्लाह की ज़ियारत करनी होती थी ना, मौला हुसैन को अगर रसूलुल्लाह नाना की ज़ियारत करनी होती थी ना, तो अली अकबर के चेहरे की ज़ियारत कर लिया करते थे. अज़ादारो आशूर का दिन नमूदार होता है, ज़हीर ज़ुहैर बिन कैन नहीं, हबीब मुस्लिम अब कोई भी असहाब नहीं. एक मर्तबा अली अकबर हुसैन के पास आते हैं, हुसैन ने फौरन इजाजत दे दी. अकबर मक्तल में जाते हैं, ऐसी जंग लड़ी, वापस आते हैं और दोबारा मक्तल की तरफ जाते हैं. बस अल्लाह अल्लाह. अज़ादारो, एक मर्तबा एक शकी ने अपने नेज़े को अकबर के सीने में डाल दिया और नेज़ा टूट गया. अकबर सदा देते हैं, बाबा अलैकुम मिन्नी सलाम, बाबा मेरा आखिरी सलाम कबूल कीजिए. अज़ादारो, रावी लिखते हैं कि हुसैन 2 कदम चलते थे फिर गिर जाते थे, 2 कदम चलते थे फिर गिर जाते थे, 2 कदम चलते थे फिर गिर जाते थे और कहते थे, या अली या अली. न जाने किस अली को पुकार रहे थे, शायद बाबा अली को नजफ से पुकार रहे हो, बाबा आइए मेरी मदद को. अज़ादारो, बिहारुल अनवार में अल्लामा मजलिसी नकल करते हैं कि मौला हुसैन ने 3 मंजर देखा. क्या देखा? मौला हुसैन 2 कदम आगे चलते थे, फिर देखा जवान बेटा गर्म रेती पर अपनी एरियो को रगड़ रहा है, बर्दाश्त न हो सका, हुसैन जमीन पर बैठ गए. फिर 2 कदम चले, क्या देखा? जवान बेटा अपने हाथ सीने पे रखे हुए बर्छी का फल छुपाया हुआ है, मौला से बर्दाश्त न हो सका, वापस बैठ गए. फिर चले, 2 कदम आगे चलते हैं, کیا دیکھا؟ ایک نقاب پوش بی بی کھڑی ہے. حسین نے دیکھا کہ جناب زینب کھڑی ہوئی تھی. زینب نے فرمایا میرے بھیا حسین جوان بیٹے کا لاشا ہے, آپ سے نہ اٹھ پائے گا. حسین نے فرمایا بہن میں ابھی زندہ ہوں, واپس خیمے میں چلی جاؤ. اب حسین اکبر کے پاس بیٹھے ہوئے ہیں. ہائے میرے لال, یہ قوم اشقیا نے کیا کر دیا. اکبر نے کہا بابا میرے سینے میں بہت درد ہے. اللہ اللہ, حسین کا امتحان دیکھیے. اپنی آستین کو پلٹی, بسم اللہ و باللہ, خون کا فوارہ حسین کے چہرے پہ گرا. ایک مرتبہ حسین کھڑے ہوتے ہیں, جوان لاشا ہے, اٹھانے کی کوشش کرتے ہیں, نہ اٹھ سکا. حسین بیٹھ گئے, دوبارہ کوشش کی, نہ اٹھ سکا, بیٹھ گئے. ایک مرتبہ حسین خیموں کی طرف نگاہ کرتے ہیں, اے بنی ہاشم کے بچوں آؤ, اکبر کا جنازہ اٹھاؤ. الا لعنت اللہ علی القوم الظالمین, انا للہ و انا الیہ راجعون. زیارت حسین.